What is up, guys and gals? My name is Splattercat, and we are here with Force and Verve and a Plumba at the Nerd Castle here. I couldn't finish it. A Plumba is what did it for me. Anyways, where we had left off in the last episode, we had been losing the war. I mean, that's really been... Oh, they got tier, too. Yeah, I had completely forgotten that had taken place. So I suppose at this point, what we're largely going to be applying ourselves to is really just sort of riding out the shot clock on our contract here. We're going to bail out on Nords in the next available... They've lost the war. I mean... I feel really, there's no point for us to stick to our guns here. They're gonna fall pretty shortly. Supposing, well, I mean, they could declare a peace right now and Nords could just be like this little tiny finger over here. But even so, it's ugly. It's really, really ugly for the Kingdom of Nords. So I think what we're gonna do in this case is let's see if we can take a look around. We're rolling around with a big ol' buku mass of prisoners right now, and we need to get rid of them, and I know you guys are probably groaning. You're just like, no, not another ransom vendor. Ooh, a farmer. What is the matter, my good man? A band of brigands, you say? Well, good. Let's go help his village. It's in Ruluns. So we'll go wipe out some bandits while we look. Tell me that's in the right direction. It's kind of in the right direction of Uxkal. Kalisi. Yeah, it sounds like one of those words. You know, I've never read any of those books. I always feel bad making references to Game of Thrones because all I've ever watched is the TV show. I like to consider myself an avid reader, but the fact of the matter is, when you're in college, reading kind of falls by the wayside. It's because they force you to read all the time. Oh god, Horsey, no! Horsey! I'm gonna take out that guy's horse. Oh, I missed. How did that occur? I am not okay with that. Gotta make sure that our strikes are on point here, at least on edge. There we go. Took him off right at his brain pan. I was reading a while back. Speaking of not reading, I'm gonna go from talking about not reading to something that I did read, although this was when I was like 15 or so. Have you ever read the actual King Arthur books? Like, there's actual books about King Arthur. There's a couple of them, and I remember I had them when I was a kid. And they were legitimately hard to read because half of it, it's kind of like Shakespeare where it's written in a dialect of English that no longer exists, so you spend a lot of time up on the Google trying to figure out what the hell's going on. But anyways, those books were surprisingly violent. I was expecting kind of classical literature, and that whole thing was very, very bloody. I mean, there was also a lot in there about like tea parties and something about magic gnomes. I wasn't really paying attention too well. But there was a part where a guy gets his brain pan cut off and like a sword gets broken in half, but it's stuck halfway inside of his head. I was like, wow, that's surprisingly edgy for a book this old. And I really, really didn't mean to leave a pun there. That was completely and totally unintended. I would never drop one on you like that. Let's see, we're gonna refuse because we need to get some honor going. I think the King of Vaegirs, who we may whore ourselves to after this, I'm not sure. We may go right now on the table. The two factions that I may take, I'm stuck between Vaegirs because all of our businesses are in Sargoth and Tyr. And honestly, they've got a lot of major cities right now, which means we could set up a pretty badass string of velvet factories. Or we may go down here to the south, and we may sign up with the Serenids, who appear to be taking all the land in the south. I'd be willing to bet, well, Rhodox is doing fairly well too right now. I mean, Swati is next out, you can already tell. Swati is going to be the next person to fold. Actually, the Kyrgyz's already folded, so they have been felled. So Swati is next, and I would be willing to bet that Rhodox is not going to make it in this one. Unless they're the ones that come up and sweep out this right here. If they manage to take these two before Vaegirs does, we should be alright. Serenids, if Serenids take Ikamer and Dirham, they'd be in a really good position to square off against Vaegirs. But as of right now, we've got green, yellow, and brown that are our main contenders for the final Emperor's Throne of Calradia. We haven't accumulated, I would go on our own right now, but if we take a look at our reports, we simply have not generated enough right to rule. We need that number to be around, I think 50 to 100 is the safe zone, where you can create your own faction, and people are like, alright, she's cool, she can be our empress. You'll recall that we are a female character. I'm not referring to me personally as a girl, although, you know, whatever. I'm too old to get worried about that kind of stuff anymore anyways. Ransom broker? Haha! And a Gambeson. I love that word. I don't know if you've noticed, but every time somebody's wearing a gambeson, I feel the need to say the word like 9 times. It's Gambeson, Gambeson, Gambeson. I'm gonna name my first kid Gambeson. Well, that seems like one of those pretentious hipster names that would just get him beat up in high school, so I don't know. You don't want to have that. You want to have the kid named like Jared. Like the very, very normal middle class name. Like you don't want to have somebody that's named like Gambeson. I knew people that had names like that in high school, and yeah, in general, I think they got picked on pretty heavily. Still, I like that word. Jarl Kurlad, you guys are feasting, huh? Just twiddling while Rome burns? God, they're pulling a Nero up here. And I don't mean they're burning CDs. Let's go to Uxkhal, and we're just gonna sort of chill around. Actually, let's go fight with Vaegir some more. We might as well get a few more stabs in at him before we completely and totally defect. It'll help us out with our morale. It'll also make us a little bit more money. We could do some raiding, possibly. What's this guy doing over here? 55? Yeah, you better run. What's your name? Attis. Ooh, and they're coming out at me hard right now. Who is this guy? Ralcha? Ralcha sounds like a sound like a dog makes when it vomits. Just Ralcha. Like, that's, I don't know. That's the word that I would assign. Oh, Rayfark wants to fight with us. All right, Rayfark. He ran back to the castle. See, everybody's feeling really hard in this game. When they're, like, in the small radius of their castle, they're like, what? What you want, man? Look at me the wrong way. And then the second you get inside their radius, they're like, whoa, hold on, dog. I'm chill. Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good, cut. Like, it's... it gets wild. It gets wild. Let's go over to... Ooh, we can fight with Eric, this sellout. Oh, that's right. We're friends with him. Well, Eric, you're a sellout and a traitor, so I'm going to slaughter you. We will take your head from your shoulders. Let's have a look around here. Now that everyone is following. I'm gonna drop archers on a hill like I always do. I could corner up right now if I really wanted to be safe, but since he's a Nordic lord, I think he's probably just gonna field mostly infantry. So I'm gonna have the infantry line up right there. And I forgot we were fielding a lot of cavalry too, so we're gonna have to come up with a good charge location. I completely and totally, it's kind of when I got into this battle, it was almost like early Christmas, where I didn't even know that I had this many knights and men-at-arms, so we're in really good shape right now. In fact, our archery battalions are suffering because of it, interestingly enough. You gents need to stop following me, hold on. They're getting all caught up on our own lines. I'm gonna put my chargers over here for now. We'll drop them right there, just to keep them in a position where they might conceivably flank later on. You never know when you want to get your flank and spank on. At any moment it could happen, and where they're probably going to advance over that little hillock right there, possibly. I've lost visual sight of them. I guess that's the only type of sight you could ever lose. I've lost my auditory sight of them. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. I could really just run through right there. I've lost my taste directional sense of them. I don't know. I've never tasted the direction of somebody. That seems really disgusting too. Yeah, they're wheeling over to here. So I'm going to put infantry. Let's continue to move. Oh, God. Well, I wasn't ready for that kind of noise. You guys are shooting at me. That ain't right. I thought we were going to do this like Old English style where we line up and like, present arms, on the double. Like, I thought this was going to be kind of one of those civilized battles, if there ever was such a thing. Alright, and when these two lines meet, looks like they're skirmishing. Let's go ahead, and we're going to give cavalry the charge order. And I apologize, I'm playing a little slow right now because we are still trying to recover. And then we're also going to give the infantry the charge order. I'm not really interested in taking prisoners right now, simply because I'd have to find another ransom broker, and Vaegir's control such a large swath of the map right now that I'm willing to bet at least like half of them are in that territory. Not a bad drive-by for us right there, or a bad gallop-by. A bad canter-by. Ooh, I like that word. Canterbury sounds like an old city. An old city on the edge of Worcestershire, I don't know. Oh my, it's gonna be one of those days, I can tell already. The mind is abuzz, my friends. The mind is abuzz. Is that everybody? Okay, good. I think we probably lost some cavalry there. I'm seeing horses laying around, which... Let's see. Oh, we didn't, actually. We only lost a couple of veterans. That's okay, I guess. I mean, I like my veterans, but it happens. We shall capture a few of them, but everybody else we're gonna leave be... Oh, I'll take the veteran archer, too. A crude male hauberk. Alright, so everything else has been handled. Let's go find another victim. And what do we have to upgrade? I know that I am completely and totally notorious at this point for not upgrading properly, so I'm going to try and do that. We do need to find Nizar, although the feeling that I'm getting, I think Nizar doesn't get along with somebody in our party right now. I think it's Lazalet. I think Nizar and Lazalet dislike each other because Lazalet is all around, he's all about order and discipline, and Nizar is kind of a horse raider, and so he's more about kind of chaos and destruction. I could be remembering improperly though. Either way, he's either not gonna like Beheshter, Borcha, or Lazalet. It's one of those three. Or wait, no, we've already had them in the group together, and Lazalet hasn't complained about any of them. I'm just talking out of my ass right now. We'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. We need to level up Borcha, and what was his job? Like, what was he doing for us? Let me go back to my skills list here. Borcha's doing nothing. He's just tracking. I think we were just going to make him into another warrior, so let's do that. And I've clicked the wrong thing again. Sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I get confused mid-click, and I just don't know what to do anymore. With Borcha, if we want him to fight, what we really need to do is we need to get him ironed. It's weird that he's not oh, he might be contributing pathfinding. I just didn't check for the plus sign. Never mind! I'm getting addled again. Let's give him... Ooh, his skills are not really lined up for what I would like them to be. Does anybody have looter in our party? Let's take a look and see if anybody's looting. Beheshter is looting already. Okay, that's fine. Tactics are going to Artimener. Matheld is fighting. Lazalet I may stick. It's weird that our skills are not being added to either, although I think I've built mostly for us to be a badass too. In either case, let's go ahead and just assign something to Borcha. It doesn't really matter at this point. We'll give him... Let's think about making him another horseman. He can be part of our cavalry. So that means we want to outfit him for fighting, but then we also want to make sure that he's got riding 3 at least, because I think that's the first point at which armored horses become available. It might be riding 4 now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll give him iron flesh for now. Just a little bit of extra HP to play around with. We're going to give him a cavalry saber once he's in line for that, and so we'll continue moving his points up in one-handed weapons. His equipment, he's got a Bernie right now. I can give him... Yeah, let's give him the battered mail with the surcoat. Are any of these helmets better than what he is rocking right now? They are not. That's fine. Not really tripping about it. Can you use those? Nah. I figured I'd try, just in case. Let's take a look over here, and I'm willing to bet this area has just descended into chaos since the Sea Raiders got here. Yeah, there's Sea Raiders everywhere, so maybe stick ourselves... Oh... God, I kind of wish I wasn't at war with... Ooh, Mariga's in there? We could conceivably fight Mariga depending on what he's fielding. But it doesn't appear to be any victims up here in this little pocket of land. So let's go down. I'm going to try and be careful with my fast forwarding. Who is that right there? And is he... Ah, Naldera. It looks like there's a feast going along, which should leave us a few supple sweet opportunities, like sweet and sour chicken, in order to annihilate these guys, which, by the way, I like anything sweet and sour. Delicioso. We could also start caravan raiding. Let me see if I can ruin their party here. Ah, they were gathering for a Campagan. Okay. They've got to have, like... Well, they've got pretty good troops right now, because they aren't facing much resistance. Let's figure out who they're at war with. I think that's under notes, and then we'll go to Affectiones. And let's swing through Vaegirs. Oh my god, look how many vassals they have right now. Oh. So that's probably why they're not having too many problems, because nobody's declaring on them right now. I would really hope for a timely declaration from the Sarranids, because I think the Sarranids are on a good footing to fight with them. I think I'll probably decide who we ally with based on who declares war first. If they end up fighting with Rhodoks, we'll go with Rhodoks. If they end up going up against the Sarranids, we may go with the Sarranids. I may just flip a coin to figure out which faction we join. Being sequestered needs to stop, like, right now. Oh, no. What's Rudine doing? What's he got? 41 skirmishers. That is a lot of skirmishers, but everything else is looking pretty mediocre in his force. We might consider getting in a fight with him. Is everybody healed up? Because I can almost guarantee you this one's going to get really, really nasty. We have no men-at-arms left. We've got a lot of Huskarls and a lot of knights, though. And I think that's how this battle's going to be won or lost. let's take a chance. Let's roll the dice on a big fight here. I mean, the worst thing that happens is we're about to end our contract with Nords anyways. So if we end up losing, it's not going to take us much time to recover because I'm about to break off our contract anyways. I would prefer not to fight this at night. I don't like that. That's one little stipulation about this battle that I'm not feeling too friendly about. Archers can go there. Infantry will be kind of on the edge of that hill. And then my cav, let's put them over here on top of this little hill. And we'll keep an eye on the enemy and figure out what they're going to do. Oh, they're wheeling right again. Okay. Well, let me deploy my cavalry, and we'll start fiddling around with our other positions. If that's the case, we're going to move archers and infantry into the center of these trees. He's not fielding a ton of horsemen right now, so I think we should be alright. I'm going to get in line with my cavalry, who now need to shift to the right in order to maintain their flank. We only have like 4 archers. God, I need to increase the battle size. I always feel like I'm not really like at my best when I play like this. Okay. And so let's let the cavalry off. We're also going to let the infantry off. Ooh, and they're blocking my charge. We're just too many. There's too many delectable little horsey hoofs running around. Delectable is not the word I was looking for. Delightful. There we are. They're not delectable. They're delightful. I mean, they might be delectable. I've never eaten a horse hoof before. It doesn't seem like it would be edible. Seems like there'd be a little too much chitin. Is that what those are made out of? I think that's what they're made out of. Yeah, and they're already fleeing the field, it looks like. That was pretty much over instantly. Ooh, slashed my horse in the head with a lumberjack's axe. That is some Paul Bunyan stuff right there. But we're not gonna have it, babe. And that guy's gonna get couched. Yeah, down he goes. So let's pull... God, formation's broken. This could be a problem. Let me pull back my cavalry for just a second. You've got to maintain discipline. I'm always reminded of the scene with Cornwallis, I think was his name, from The Patriot, or from American History. I don't know. My American History. I haven't taken a history class in a long, long time, and so I always feel like my historical... Once you switch over to like a science major, you don't have time to take those little classes anymore where you learn about just random stuff from American history. They try to hit you with all of those in like 8th grade, and then after a while you just sort of forget it all. Brain flushing being what it is. Alright, so let's pick on some of these guys running around on the edges. And now the infantry is semi-consolidated, we'll send them up the hill Normandy style. Every time I see crossbowmen, I just feel the need to slash them in the face because they're so dangerous. Crossbowmen are one of those units for which there is no endgame. Like, a lot of units lose their oomph as you get towards the end of the game, and that's a technical term right there. So if you're ever looking for a word just to describe scientifically kind of the force with which something is striking, use it in physics class. I guarantee it'll work. Call it oomph. It hit with 38 oomphs. It registered in the 38 mega oomph scale. We didn't... Oh, we lost a Huskarl. That's okay, though. In a 100-unit battle, I'll take one Huskarl as the trade-off. He managed to escape. Let's have a look at what we've captured. Just about nothing, so I'm not going to take any of that right there in the interest of maintaining our mobility. Loot's also looking a little bit sparse. We are going to need to go down and vendor this stuff pretty soon. What is that right there? I forgot that I had a bow. Oh my god, there are so many little things that I've just been forgetting. I should probably level that up a tad. 504 dinars for the battle, and a fair bit of loot. Let's go by Kura, see if we can pick another fight. Jarl Turaya sends word. We're going to give him a giant Nordic middle finger. I don't think they have the forces to take anything at this point. How many lords do we have left, coincidentally? Let's have a look at our factions, and we'll look at Nords. Well, they're not hurting too badly. They still have some people remaining, but my guess is that dissent among the faction is pretty much falling over. The quest was canceled. That's what I figured would happen. Well, since we've got a little bit of time on our hands, I do want to see if maybe we can fight with caravans. We got to make a little bit of money here, but we've got to sell some of our goodies first. So let's get our goodies all nice and unloaded. Nothing better than unloading your goodies at the end of a trip. You'll forgive my momentary silence, although I think some of you want me to shut up a lot of the time. But anyways, you'll forgive my momentary silence. I've got to sit around. I can't think and talk at the same time. It's a personal flaw. Never been able to do it. We'll go to Uxkhal, and we're just going to unload as much of this stuff as we can, because none of it's particularly useful. And none of those gloves are any good either. Okay, well, we'll make 1344, and we're at the goods merchant. Oh, we're at the horse merchant. Damn it. Alright, well, let me unload all this stuff since he can't afford us. And let's go back to the goods merchant because we got to pick up some food anyways. So we'll grab some bread and some grain and maybe some dried meat and some wool, because there's nothing like chewing some wool every now and again. Okay, so where are we sitting at financially? 26,000 dinars. We're doing pretty well. I do wish that the game had a banking system like some of the mods have, where you can deposit your money around just in case you get captured so you don't have to worry about it. At this point, I don't know how many days are left in our contract. I don't even know where you would begin to check that. But let's maybe roll over Berglund for now, after upgrading our units just in case they decide to rebel, or somebody decides to come in and help them. Lords do swing through every now and again and try and rescue the locations of interest that you're raiding. Lazalet has leveled up. That's good. Let's take a look at his skills. And he's got Trainer 4, which may be why he's undermining us. What do we have for our training? Our training is 4 as well. So he's undermining us right now, which is bad because we actually have way more XP to distribute. That might explain. Let me have a look at the party menu. No, he's not contributing. Nobody's contributing to our training right now, which is really, really odd because we are training. That may just be a representational bug. This will probably be the last thing we do for the episode, but let's raid this place with Lazalet. I think what I should like with him... Who's doing our tactics right now? Artimener. Okay, so Artimener's already got that locked down. Well, in that case, instead of taking him higher up the list with Trainer, maybe give him a little bit of extra... We'll make him into cavalry too. So let's start working on his riding skill, and we'll put him in a cavalry division. I've noticed cavalry tend to survive a little bit better in combat, so we'll leave that there. With him, let's maybe think about giving him two-handed weapons, just to be a badass. I don't know, we don't have anybody with two-handers, and I think that'd be a nice thing to have running around, a big old plate mail guy. Ooh, my Mamelukes have not been engaging in combat. That's disappointing. Let's take a hostile action here. We're going to plunder this village and then raise it. Not the nicest thing to do, but I'm interested in making some money before this entire campaign ends. You've got to be a relentless there it is. Become free of your bond. So we're going to become free of our bond. And I think Vagirs is going to hate us just as much either way. And what has happened here? Okay, good. We didn't lose any extra... I think it's because we started while we were still at war, so... Oh, I didn't sell everything. Probably get back to that, too. Most of that stuff sucks anyway, so we'll grab all this. And we're close enough to other localities to vendor this rapidly, so let's head to Dirham and we'll handle that. And that'll be our final thing for the episode. And so, it's getting a little bit, well... The time this airs, I was going to say we're getting a little bit closer to Christmas, but I think by the time this airs, I'm recording this way in advance because I'm trying to go home for Christmas, so I'm recording this before Christmas, but conceivably you could be seeing it after. God, all their horses suck here. Like, I really need a new horse, and they are just not giving me a whole lot of fodder for it. That balanced greatsword would be pretty badass. Maybe we give that to somebody. That cavalry sword is an interesting option for us, too. Oh, well. Let's vendor off the rest of this. And the nice thing is that we can use this as fodder to equip somebody else in our group. Like that coat of plates right there. That seems to be fairly affordable. It's lower on the list than what you would normally expect to see, so I am going to buy that right now. And we're going to give it to, oh, I don't know, Mathelda served us fairly well. And so we'll give her the coat of plates as a reward. It's only one better than what she was wearing already. And then for the other people that have maintained our line, although they need the stats to equip some of this stuff, so that might be another hang-up. I think I'll give the next one to Beheshter. He's been around for a long time. What are his skills looking like? 9? Yeah, he should be, or 10. He should be able to equip it, no problem. Oh, the Lemular has no requirement. Never mind then. Even bettersies. So, my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the Nerd Castle for another episode of our Mountain Blade. I almost said How to Survive. How weird is that? We haven't played that game in forever. But anyways, thank you for joining me here in the world of Cal Radio one more time for some more pillage and plunder. I think in the next episode, we're going to decide what faction we're going to join. Don't worry, this is probably going to air a few weeks from now, which means the decision will already be made. I'm going to keep an eye on who Vaegirs goes to war with, although I think at this point we may side with Vaegirs. I've never done the Serenids and I've never done Vaegirs, so seem to be pretty good options. My name is Splattercat. I'll see you in the next episode, and take care out there, everybody.